Hey there, folks. Welcome to our Stu's Game Reviews live stream. The game we have here today is called 6 Days to Sacrifice. It's actually not the game I'm showing right now. I'll show you what it actually is in a second. So, it's a point-and-click adventure game. And, actually, let me hide this. You can just see, like, this is the, well, that's the window that's going to be the game. But, it's the fourth and last game in the Chzo Mythos series by Ben Yahtzee Croshaw. A bunch of really interesting text horror adventures. And we played through all the other ones, and even this one we played through this channel before. But we're going to play the special edition today, which has the director commentary. And then, before we even do that, there's a couple of short text adventures that Yahtzee created when this game was launched to promote the game. Like, he released like one every week, I think, until the game was out, just to get people in the mood and also give some more of the backstory. So we figured, I never even played these ones. I forgot about it at the time. I don't think I ever looked at it. So I think this would be the first time for me for those, and we'll try those out. We'll see how they are. And then we have on the channel here on the line the Gamer's Grotto. How you doing, my friend?
I'm all right.
Anything else to say besides that, or that's it? I'm just kidding.
No, I'm all right.
You don't call him the best voice actor in the business for nothing, folks. All right, Pirate Game Boy 12 is here. He says BSOD, blue screen of death. It's not really a blue screen of death. It's more like this is the Frotz interpreter that handles Infocom style text adventures. And this is the color. You can change the color scheme if you want, but this is the color scheme that they used to use like in the IBM PC back in the day. So this is the default color scheme. That's what this is. I guess before we get started, first of all, I'm going to interrupt and we'll give some backstory and stuff like that. But before we even get started at all, first of all, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and like all that good stuff and leave a comment. Check out my Discord. And if you're not new to the channel, welcome back. And we have two people here right now, which is probably Pirate Gamer Boy and Gamer's Grotto himself. But we will hopefully get some more people shortly. Hang on a sec. Let me show you the screen here so you can see it.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
And make sure you check out the Gamer's Grotto's channel as well and subscribe to that if you've not already done so. And if you've not, you're probably some kind of big loser. But he still wants you to subscribe to his channel because most of the people that subscribe to his channel are losers anyway.
Wow. Wow.
I'm subscribed to his channel too, of course. So there's at least one non-loser there.
He's the biggest loser out of all of them.
Yeah, probably. So this text adventure here, the premise is, if you remember, we played. You probably don't remember, but we played this game called Trilby's Notes, and he kept picking up this. He kept touching these objects in the game, and then it was giving flashbacks to stuff that was happening earlier in the mythos of the world that this game inhabits. And one of the things was this guy who owned an inn or something, and or he was staying. No, yeah, he owned some kind of shop. I don't remember what it was. And then he had a harpsichord that he got that was built from the wood of the. Long story short, this dude's soul, the tall man, was trapped in the wood, and the tree was cut down. The wood was eventually made into a harpsichord, and then the tall man, like the guy came down in the middle of the night, and this guy, the tall man, who's like, I guess the bad guy, the main bad guy, he was playing the harpsichord, and basically the guy shot him, but it wasn't really him that he shot. He actually shot his lover, another guy. I don't know if they were married or what. I'm assuming in 1778 they weren't married. But anyway, he shot his lover and killed him, and then basically promised the guy, like, please spare my life, I'll worship you, or something like that. So it looks like this text adventure picks up where that sort of takes off, because it says August 18th, 1779, just over a year ago, your greatest friend Wilbur was murdered by you. So Gamer's Grotto, Jeremy, do you want to read this thing? You want me to read it? It's up to you what you want to do. I know you're going to voice the adventure game part, or the graphic adventure part, but it's up to you if you want to do the text adventure as well.
Yeah, I can.
All right, go for it, man.
August 18th, 1779, just over a year ago, your greatest friend Wilbur was murdered.
by you. His brain was utterly destroyed by a cloud of shot fired from a flintlock pistol. You can still close your eyes and see the flash of powder that changed your life forever. The gun kicking in your hand as its deadly payload was ejected, his body you then butchered. Every day since then, you have laid your hand on the banister as you made your way up the stairs, and every single time the texture of the wood and grain has reminded you of the axe handle as you held it and brought it down again and again on Wilbur's form,
Sheesh.
reducing his beautiful hairless body to sweating gobbets. Gobbets?
I don't know.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that term. I've heard giblets.
I never heard of body parts sweating either, but who knows?
Yeah. Of shapeless meat. The figure in black, like an elongated shadow at sunset stretching across a grave. You remember him too. You remember falling to your knees and spouting every plea that came to your mind. Desperate to be spared his wrath. Satisfied, he vanished, and you gradually began to convince yourself that he had never appeared at all. You disposed of Wilbur, told his friends and relatives that he had moved permanently to France, and allowed yourself to forget, until he came back.
I assume they don't mean Wilbur, I assume they mean the other guy.
Wait, what? Of Wilbur?
No,
hold on.
They don't mean Wilbur, they mean the other dude. Oh no, you just...
No. Where this...
It's a couple lines down. Until he came back.
Okay, there we go. That was confusing. I'm like, the fuck? July 28th, 1779. A year to the day he came back.
Wait, it's August 18th before. What does that mean, a year? How's that a year to the day? Oh, that was 21 days ago. Sorry, never mind.
Go back one page for a second.
I'm not sure you could do that.
Oh, it's an actual text adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I thought it was just, it looks like a Word document.
No, it's
That's
not.
why I was confused.
Nope.
July 28th, 1779, a year to the day. He came back, peering eyelessly at you from across your bedclothes. The prince, the tall man, never speaking, rarely moving, but somehow getting his message across with ease. In return for your life, you, Jack Freehorn, owed him and his voted master an obligation. All you had to do was follow their instructions. That was 21 days ago. Tonight, you will complete the task you were given. Perhaps then you will be free. Perhaps after tonight, you will sleep easy once more. Countdown 1, the body. I'm not putting down. I'm not saying all the release information, serial number, all that. What is serial number for a game?
I think you could skip that.
Yeah. Harpsichord room. This is the harpsichord room. You persist in calling it that, even though the titular instrument has long since been smashed to bits. It and its dreadful curse. You must admit that the room is quite devoid of life without it. You even tore the curtains from the window after that terrible night, lest the slightest stain of Wilbur's blood incriminate you. Now, the only features are a decorative end table in the corner, a set of stairs leading to the room above, trapdoor in the floor, and a door in the east wall that leads outside. On the end table is a bottle of rum.
So I'm going to assume that this is pretty easy. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a pretty easy game. It's just because they just try to, get some text across to you and not going to be some complicated puzzles to solve. So I took the rum. I'm carrying rum. Let's go up.
The bedroom was never well maintained, even when Wilbur was alive. Now it hasn't been cleaned for some time, and thick films of dust and filth cover everything. You're almost certain rats are getting in, but you cannot bring yourself to care. Only the ancient bed and your old writing desk show any sign of recent use. On the bed is a blank page.
I'm laughing at what Pirate Gear Boy just said. Jeremy should read out literally every text that's printed.
Every text, you are carrying a bottle of rum.
No,
You.
I don't think he means that. I think he means like every text that was ever printed in the world.
Oh.
Because your voice, because your narrative style is pretty engrossing. You should be like work for like what's it called, Kindle or whatever.
I wouldn't mind, honestly.
Examine page.
A piece of unadorned paper. It was suggested to you to acquire some writing material.
Good paper.
Taken.
Examine desk.
Once the desk was covered in papers, correspondence, and texts, as recently as a year ago when you were still excited by the supernatural. Now, the surface is practically bare. Your files all thrown into a fire long ago. There is a single drawer built into the desk. You open the drawer, revealing a quill pen.
I need some ink too.
Taken.
I think.
You can't remember when you last had a full night's sleep on it. The old smells ingrained in the sheets and mattress bring bad dreams. You aren't feeling especially drowsy. Did you not listen to me? I said I can't sleep on the... Get taken. Yeah. Kill myself. Violence isn't the answer to this one. Yeah, Stu.
Okay, let's see. What else can I go?
What did you just do? What's verbose? What does that mean?
Oh, verbose means so like you saw when it went down, it's just in a harpsichord room. It didn't say anything else about it. So in verbose mode, every time you go into a room, it'll tell you the description again. And the reason, I don't want that so you can read it every time. But
No. So you can remember what's in the room.
Yeah, and also like what the exits are and stuff like that. So I have to type look every single time like I just did now. All right, so let's look at the trapdoor.
The trapdoor leads down into the basement. Before the unpleasantness, it was covered by the harpsichord, and you rarely, if ever, had cause to go down there.
So, went down. Oh, sheesh.
Okay. You have been spending an increasing large. Wow, screwing that up. You have been spending an increasingly large amount of time in the basement. The once intimidating rock walls and ancient foundations of previous buildings now seem familiar and comforting. The only way out is a well-trodden set of stone steps leading upwards. Dominating the large space of the basement is an unusually oversized coal brazier, to which number 12 is securely chained.
So there was some guy kidnapped or something.
The pillar stands ominously in a corner of the room. You can also see an instruction scroll and a blade here. Number 12 fights uselessly with its restraints.
Maybe it's not a guy, but it's.
It's.
Examine number 12.
You picked it up from a notorious inn just off the Liverpool docks. It has already been here for the required 15 hours and is looking rather scarred and blackened from the coals. Number 12 whimpers in agony.
I'm sure it's a person. They're just trying to make you think it's not by calling it it, but he's probably just such an asshole that like he depersonalizes it.
It was given to you by the prince, and you spent an entire night translating it from what you think was ancient Gaelic. Find ye 12 of impure mind. Teach they the pain of fire and flay. When broken, they take up thy blade. Then cut thy mind and soul away. Place thy blade into the pillar. Their mind and soul within shall stay. When 12 are dead, take up thy pen. Write what ye hear till ends the day.
Jeez.
Number 12, whimpers in agony.
I assume he's already been beaten if he's whimpers in agony. That's what they said, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he's looking scarred and blackened from the coals, so he burned them already. Jeez. Let's look at the pillar.
The pillar appeared from nowhere, the morning after your meeting with the prince. 21 days ago. It is an imperfect cylinder, slightly wider at the bottom than at the top, made solidly from some kind of dark reflective metal you have been unable to identify. There is a small vertical slot in the base, about 3 feet above the ground.
Got the brazier. Okay.
A circular bed of glowing coals covered by an iron grill. You had to get it specially made. You found the blade lying on Wilbur's pillow the morning after the tall man appeared to you. It is a long, decorative blade with 2 absurd points on the end, like the teeth of a key. You are certain that the strange metal from which it is forged cannot be found anywhere in the universe of technology.
I want to make sure I can't like leave through the door to the east wall. Yeah, I didn't
You know,
think so.
fun fact. You know where how I learned to read like that is from King's Quest Six. Actually, the narrator in King's Quest Six.
That's funny.
That's actually how I started to, because I kind of was copying him,
Yeah.
and he still narrates shit to this day, man. I was watching some ghost show the other day, and he was on it as the narrator.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, holy shit, yeah, yeah.
You
He's
talking
still
about the
doing
guy
it.
who's just like Alexander picks up the
Yeah.
magic map, you know, like that one.
Yeah, yeah, and I recognized his voice right away because he sounds exactly the same.
That's
I'm like,
funny.
holy shit.
You know, I'm thinking
Yeah.
we don't have any ink for the pen, but I bet you I know what you were to use for ink instead of normal ink. All right, so tried to kill the guy. Take the blade. Kill
That was
number 12.
You're not sure you can do that. Do it. Number 12 is staring up at you in terror. Perhaps there is some shred of restraint left in you, and if so, you must be free of it to complete your task. Number 12 is sobbing miserably to itself.
How much to do that? Number 12. Hello.
Why can't you talk? Okay.
I don't know. You calling that something
This
animate?
isn't a how low game third.
Oh, that's a mistake. Stab number 12. Use knife on number 12. Alright, so, I mean, this is you have to kill him, but what do I have to do? Oh, drink the rum.
You take a large swig of rum and feel a little better. You could use another one of those.
G is again.
G is what?
Again. Like, do it again.
Oh, do it again.
Yeah.
I'm not. Okay.
I'm just
Suddenly
telling you
you
what
feel.
it means, because you asked
you
before
take-
with verboses. I'm telling you what the G means.
You take a large swig of rum. Suddenly you feel distanced from the world and have fewer cares. Number
Alright.
12 fights uselessly with its restraints. You thrust your blade downwards, expertly guiding it between number 12's rib and into its heart. You hold it in place for several seconds, although the heat burns your hands while blood geysers up along the blade. Number 12 shudders, as if in the throes of orgasm, before its scream dies in a wretched gurgle and its eyes turn inward. For a moment, the blade appears to glow a ghostly blue.
That doesn't say anything else. He's dead.
You picked it up from a notorious
We read that
inn.
before. It's fine. I just want to see if it tells us it's a person or not.
Well, we still have that. The description at the bottom is
Yeah.
new, actually.
Put knife.
Its blood is still weeping from the stab wound you made. And each
True.
drop sizzles musically as it hits the coal.
What? Put knife in pillar. What? Hold on. The vertical slot, it says. Insert.
So put knife in slot.
That's what I did before. Do I have the knife? Oh, the blade.
Oh, that's fine.
Put
The
blade
blade.
in slot.
Ah, there we go. You slide the blade into the slot at the pillar's base, and it glides in smoothly. Almost immediately, arcane symbols appear and disappear on the pillar's surface, each one glowing brightly for a moment before fading away. You find yourself unable to remove your hand from the hilt of the blade as the slot glows white hot. Spit sparks and a searing pain runs up your arm. After a minute, that feels like 10. The lights fade and you are able to wrench your hand away. You clutch your wrist and fall to your knees as smoke rises from the black pictogram that has now permanently scorched into the flesh of your palm. A circle containing 4 triangles arranged around a square. As you stare at it, you fancy you can hear voices. A dozen agonized souls screaming in unison, faint and quavering. Quavering? Do they mean quivering? Quivering?
I think it's the same thing. It means the same thing, I think.
As if trapped at the bottom of a steel well. At first you think they are coming from the pillar, but it quickly becomes clear that they are everywhere, all around you, filling the air and choking you. The voices sing of strange events that have yet to come. A ship, a cursed house, a man in a hat, lying dead on a tree stump.
I forgot to put my hat on. There we go.
A man wrapped head to foot in bandages, floating a foot off the ground. Words and images fill your mind. Like a pregnant mother, you feel you must let them out.
So I think that this is like...
That's the weirdest saying I've ever heard.
Like a pregnant mother?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I think... I assume you're going to write now all the books that we... Like in all the different games, you're picking up pages from like the book of this, the book of that. So this dude's going to write it. But, yeah, some of the... Like a man in a hat lying dead in a tree stump. That's Trilby from Trilby's Notes. So this is all stuff that we've seen, like, most of it is. About the man wrapped head to foot in bandages floating a foot off the ground. That's not something we've seen yet. That's in the last game that we're going to play soon. All right, so let's see.
Wait, you're doing them in reverse order?
No. But since I played it already, I know that's what that game is from. So dip quill in blood. Put quill in blood. I mean, I just have to write. Let's see if I can write.
So hold on. The main graphic adventure, is that a sequel to this one, or is this a prequel? What's
this and the other two small adventure games were released as prequels to the main graphic adventure, which but that game is like the 4th game in the series. So there's three graphic adventures first, then this text adventure. If that makes sense.
Okay.
You're totally confused, aren't you? I'm right.
No.
Page. There we go.
Oh, good God. The prophecy of Chzo bursts from your mind to the pen.
Chzo.
Even as the nib scribbles across the page, you realize the enormous weight of importance carried by the words that you imprison in ink. You write for a day and a night. You fill page after page with the prophecy of Chzo. By the end of it, tears are streaming down your face because you know that your obligation is far from fulfilled, and that when you pledged yourself for eternity to the prince, he very much intended to make the most of the offer.
I hope this is not going to be like 10 pages long.
Could you imagine?
It's always the end. But the Retro Engine, how's it going, man?
Yeah, how you doing, Retro Engine? Number 1. After 10 score years, all was in readiness for the construction of the bridge, and the prince watched as the bridge keeper stood on both sides of the dark ocean, awaiting the time when the great undertaking could begin. 2. To the house of the bridge keeper, which was the mind of the bridge keeper, had come many thieves, and the bridge keeper had borrowed from the power of the prince, and thrown down these thieves, and truly did they know the name of the king. 3. But then there came a family of thieves to the house of the bridge keeper, which was the mind of the bridge keeper, and the family of thieves numbered 5. 4. There was the spying thief, who came to the house of the bridgekeeper to learn the secrets of the prince and of the order, a pawn of masters who would prevent the glorious scheme of the king.
Pervert.
5. There was the covetous thief who came to the house of the bridgekeeper for wealth, and who cared little for the more.
Before you keep reading, a couple things. One is, Retro Engine says, good grief, this is trimming down way too much text. It is a lot. He also says, nice hat, so thank you for that. So a couple things. They're talking about now the events of the first game, which was 7 Days a Skeptic. I think. No. 5 Days a Stranger. I get confused. 5 Days a Stranger is the first game. And so in that game, you're Trilby, the guy with the hat, and you're trapped inside this house that was haunted by this guy John Defoe. The bridgekeeper is that guy John Defoe. That's what they're talking about. And there's a lot of complex stuff here, but basically, they're saying a family of thieves came to the house. It was you're a thief. Trilby is a thief, and a bunch of other people trying to get ransack the house or whatever. I'm not sure which one they're going to call you, but that they're basically giving out the events of the first game, just in case you're not aware of that. Oh, well, that's it. Okay, good. Number 6, or Blackness of His Soul. Continue that.
Yes, blackness of his soul. There was 6. There was the thief wife, who came to the house of the bridgekeeper to corrupt the bridgekeeper with her whorish ways, and to travel the land of technology, spreading stories and lies of what she found. 7. There was the thief's son, who came to the house of the bridgekeeper in innocence, but the bridgekeeper would not spare him. For the children of thieves will live to corrupt the children of the righteous. 8. Lastly, there was the cunning thief.
That's Trilby, I guess.
Who would not tell of his purpose or his name. But the prince gazed upon him, and the prince said, this cunning thief, who sups with most unworthy company, is the one who will guide the bridgekeeper to his destiny. And so I will have him to be spared the wrath of this house. And the family of thieves sat together to dine in the house of the bridgekeeper. That was the mind of the bridgekeeper. And the wrath of the house fell upon them. You have written the prophecy.
So that's the first game, the first text adventure. So just to explain that a little bit more, so the story of that first game was there's this kid who was born like physically and mentally disabled, and his father was basically, and his mother died in childbirth, and the father would basically blamed him for it. It was keeping him chained up in the basement, and the father eventually murdered him. Long story, and then he became like an evil spirit, and he killed the father, and he killed his brother, and then he became this guy who the whole house was haunted and whatever else. So somehow his mind ended up inhabiting the house, is what they're saying. And at the end of the first game, Trilby burned down the house, and so the mind of the bridgekeeper was destroyed. But the soul of the bridgekeeper, this guy John Defoe, ended up in this idol that he used to beat the guys to death or something. And in the second game, 7 Days a Skeptic, that idol gets shot into space by Trilby, and then people find it, and it causes a bunch of other crap. And at the end of the game, the guy, not Trilby, the main character, throws it into an exhaust of the ship and destroys it. So I'm sure that's what the next game will probably be about that one. But I'm trying to make this somewhat comprehensible. I apologize. I know it's not, but maybe you'll get the idea if you keep on watching. All right, let's. How would I start a new game here? That's not the way to do it. Hold on. Alright. That's still working? Yes. Alright, so this is Countdown 2. Oops, I meant to do that. Whenever you're ready, sir, you can continue to read if you like.
I'm not seeing anything on your screen.
Oh, I forgot to share it. I'm sorry. I have to share this thing again. Sorry. There we go. There it is.
1 second.
You don't see
okay.
it?
This is the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how many of these text adventures are there before the graphic one?
Three.
Out of curiosity.
3.
Oh, good God. This is going to be a long stream.
Well, we probably won't finish the whole graphic adventure, but at least we'll start it for sure.
January 7th, 2189. You joined a fad religion because you needed direction in your life and needed something to do with your free time. You were so engrossed in attending prayer meetings and other organized events that you didn't notice eyes watching you from the shadows. And then they introduced you to the truth. The true organization behind the faith, the so-called Order of Blessed Agonies. And that was even better. You had always regarded pain with a subdued fascination, even from childhood, testing the very limits of your endurance. And as for purification, you certainly felt you needed that. The initiation was almost complete. You were sore and bleeding from the purification of your body, and you were still dizzy and spaced out from the purification of the mind. Next, they had said, came the soul, the aspect that can only be purified once, the deletion of something close to you, something upon which you relied upon emotionally.
Oops.
You were brought to a featureless white chamber deep within headquarters, and there he was. Don't worry, they had said, we make it easy for you. Then they handed you a gun. Okay. You are in an utterly featureless white room. Everything is painted up flat, spotless, shining white. You're
What?
the screen just stopped sharing.
It did?
Yeah, that was weird.
I-
The fluorescent ceiling lights merge seamlessly with the paintwork, brightly illuminating the room. You can't even see where the door was. So utterly flawless is the constant white. Your boyfriend Jason is here, gagged and lashed to a chair. Before you found the Order of Blessed Agonies, Jason was the greatest thing that ever happened to you. He was, still is, you suppose, smart, handsome and tolerant of your eccentricities. They don't appear to have used much force in capturing him, since his body appears without blemish and unharmed. He is tied to the chair and is staring at you calmly, perhaps assuming by your presence that this is just a joke or sexual adventure. Okay.
I think you have to kill him, basically. So, let's get it over with.
The gun coughs and jumps in your hand. What? How does the gun... Okay. The gun coughs and jumps in your hand. The featureless whiteness of the room is splattered with red. Jason's head hangs forward. Initiates are coming into the room now to congratulate and welcome you, but their voices are faint, beneath the sound of the blood roaring in your ears. That was 2 weeks ago, and you have not slept comfortably since. The memory of murdering your lover comes back to you in your nightmares again and again. After moving into the female dormitories at Order headquarters, it only took a day for you to realize that becoming a cultist was the stupidest thing you had ever done.
See, by the way, I assumed he was a guy, and I was trying. They were actually examine me because I was trying to check if it would say that you were a guy or a girl, and since it didn't say, I figured they were trying to leave it ambiguous. I'm surprised they say after moving to the female dormitories, but anyway, sorry.
The bad nightmares are the ones where you simply relive the murder. The worst ones are the happy ones. In those, Jason is alive. You never joined the Order, and the two of you have a wonderful house and a happy marriage. Then you wake up again in the militaristic cot of the Order dormitory, and all you can do is stuff the corner of a pillow down your throat to muffle your sobs. One of those dreams had just jerked you awake. You lay musing on your own foolishness for a while, until it becomes clear that you would never be able to go back to sleep. You decide to pop outside for some fresh air. This is a fairly large and elongated room with most of the available space filled by bunk beds. In the twilight, you can just about see the snoring forms of the other female cultists, their chests rising and falling with their breath. A glowing rectangle indicates the presence of a door in the southern wall.
Glowing rectangle. Kill cultists. Guess you can't do that. Okay, so that goes south.
Everything in the Order headquarters is so infuriatingly clean. The floor is shiny and reflective. The walls light and cheerful. Absolutely nothing indicates that it is owned by a murdering, pain-worshipping cult. Double doors to your west lead to the courtyard, where ordinary doors lie to the north, east, and south.
I guess I'll go east first. No, guess not. Okay. Okay.
This is the open-air garden, provided as an area for meeting and relaxation. Benches and picnic tables are provided, deliberately positioned under the boughs of beautifully maintained trees. A row of flower beds runs the length of the enclosure, blooming with roses so deeply red that you wonder stupidly if Jason's blood was used to water them. An unfamiliar stranger is standing in the center of the courtyard with his back to you.
But it's the tall man. Oh.
He is wearing a red robe, which could possibly have once been the robe of a member of the Order. However, the cowl and sleeves appear to have been torn off. His head is completely bald. Suddenly, the stranger turns around. "Delia," he says. "Delia Renault." You stare. You start at his sudden movement, but manage to find your voice. "How do you know my name?" "I know many things," he replies, as though this were an explanation. "I also know that you murdered your lover, and are filled with regret. You want to redeem yourself, do you not? You wish to be forgiven for the life you stole." All you can do is nod dumbly. How could he possibly know this? You never mentioned your feelings to anyone. "I am an enemy of the Order," he continues. "My organization is building a case against them. If you can help us, we will protect you, but you must do something for us first. Are you willing?" "Yes," you say. There doesn't seem to be any point in resisting. "Somewhere in the basement of this facility, a special knife is being kept. Freehorn's blade, an artifact the cultists hold in very high regard. I want you to steal it from me, then bring it to me here. Once this task is complete, you will be taken to a safe house. Is everything clear?" There is something about his voice and the way his eyes flash as he speaks. Somehow, you know that even had you been a loyal member of the cult, you would still find yourself exceeding his demands. Yes.
So the blade, I guess, is the same blade used in the first text event, right?
Yeah, I think so. Where are we here?
Towards the bottom.
Oh, yeah. "Then return here when you have the blade." With that, he vanishes. Later, you find you cannot remember if you left the area by foot or simply
Disapparated?
disapparated into thin air. I've never heard that word.
I've heard it. It's like disappeared, same thing.
Would have made more sense to just type disappeared.
Well, this guy's like a fancy, fancy Dan. How do I get back where I was going? East? Okay, there we go. So let's go south now. That's, I think. Yeah, okay.
You are standing at the top of a wobbly metal staircase that leads down into the basement of the facility. For some reason, there are traces of sawdust and rock dust up and down the steps. From below, you hear the occasional ominous creak of metal. The door to the rest of the facility lies north. You are in a small, dingy collecting hallway. From the undecorated connecting hallway. From the undecorated walls and narrow movement space, you get the definite impression of an underground bunker. Although the ceiling is surprisingly high. A set of metal stairs lead back up to the main facility, while metal sliding doors lie to the north and west.
We'll go north or west first.
It's up to you. It's your game.
I guess I'll go west.
You are in a room painted a dark gray that seems to have been set aside for security and maintenance. In the corner is a compact monitoring computer with several screens. The sort of thing used to operate security cameras. There is also a fuse box nearby, mounted to the north wall. Doors lie east and west. In the corner of the room is a sealed steel barrel. Although the lid is sealed on quite tightly, it appears to be emitting a thick stench of petrol fumes.
Would there be a barrel of oil here?
It doesn't appear to have been wired up and activated yet. This area must still be under construction.
What's it with the fuse box? Oh, jeez. This is a big area.
Have we done this room yet?
No.
Okay. You are in a broad hallway. Judging by the way it curves, it probably forms a complete circle. Although the way north is blocked by construction barriers, the decor here is less like a bunker and more like some kind of high-tech laboratory, with a lot of stainless steel and plastics incorporated into the building material. There are doors running along the exterior wall, leading south and east, while the corridor continues west.
I'm pretty sure this is the same area that's in the game we're going to play. It's just describing it in text instead of graphics. I recognize the area from... It's really interesting, actually. East should go back where I came, shouldn't it? Yeah, it does. Okay.
We're in the southwestern quarter of the wide, curving hallway, which continues east and north. More interestingly, though, is a large, heavy steel door installed in the interior wall to the northeast.
Hey, James McCrossan says, "Hello, we finally meet. Nice to meet you." Nice to meet you too. It's just, it's like, we finally meet Mr. Bond or something like that. Nice to meet you as well. Okay, let's see about northeast. Okay.
The door is extremely heavy, and there doesn't seem to be any visible opening mechanism.
All right, let's keep going around the corner here.
The hallway comes to an end here, with more construction barriers blocking the way north and northeast. They do, however, leave enough room to just about squeeze through an open doorway to the northwest.
Jeez.
This room is clearly under construction, as the walls and floor are still decorated on undecorated concrete. Exposed wiring dangles from the ceiling, and a stack of ceiling panels in the corner await proper placement. Open doorways lead southeast and northwest.
Get wires. Well, get panels. All right, southeast, northwest. Oh, finally.
This room is obviously unfinished, but seems to be already being used by the construction crew as a kitchen. A dusty counter is here and a non-functioning refrigerator. A dining table is arranged skew in the corner, and judging by the rim marks, has clearly been used for tea breaks. The only door is to the southeast. On the counter is a bread knife.
I feel like this is like Indiana Jones puzzle, you know, get the knife and then swap the other knife with it.
It's a perfectly ordinary kitchen bread knife, obviously recently bought but worn by excessive use.
Alright, so I think I have to go all the way back to where I came because it's just like, there's no way to go. How do I go? Which way to go for? Okay, this way.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, I don't know if you guys are aware. I mentioned this on my channel, but the upcoming Indiana Jones game releases next month, and Adventure Game Hotspot, who Stu and I both know, actually played it and was telling me.
I'm just kidding.
I was telling me on my channel that he really enjoyed it, and that's pretty high praise for him, given that he normally hates most games that he plays. I mean,
he hates it or he likes it?
No, he loves it.
Oh,
He said it was amazing, and he played the demo, a 4-hour demo of it that he got access to because I guess, being a YouTuber, I guess the company contacted him and gave him the demo to play. Because I remember he streamed Star Wars Outlaws on his channel, and while I love that game, he couldn't stand it. He was so annoyed by it.
It looked okay to me. A lot of people contact me, offer to give me free games, and I always say, no, I only want physical games. I'm not taking your digital filth, disgusting. That's not true. Nobody offers me anything. Anyway, we're in the museum now.
You sound like the... What are you, the rich guy from Gilligan's Island? I don't want your bloody digital content.
The rich guy, yeah. I don't want you, original. That was the same guy who played Mr. Magoo, Jim Backus. I don't want you digital content. Like, give me a... Go ahead.
Yeah. This is a small, dimly lit room which seems to have been put aside as a museum or display room. Privately, you consider it another testament to the collective self-righteousness of the Order. The display seems to be incomplete. The only features are a magnificent painting on the north wall and a pedestal in the very center of the room. The only way out is to the north. On the pedestal is Freehorn's blade.
The last to the south, but it's okay.
Oh, there's also it says you can see a page here as well. I didn't even see that.
It's like you think it's like a page from a book or like a guy, like a page in a court.
Try taking the page.
I will in a second. I could turn the page, maybe.
It depicts the prince, the incredibly tall man in black you have seen in other pieces of Order artwork. He is holding out his arms and standing behind 3 men. On the left, a youngish man dressed as an 18th century fop. In the center, a dark-haired man in a hat wearing turn of the millennium guard, and on the right, a figure you recognize as Garriott, the current administrator of the Order.
So the youngish man must be Freehorn, and the dark-haired man that had is obviously Trilby. All right, let's turn the page. I'm sure that doesn't work. All right, X the page.
It's a page from the books of Show. You'd be able to read it if you picked it up. You'd be able to read it if you picked it up.
Usually, most of these games, if you type read something, it'll say taken in parentheses. That would happen here, too.
Oh, here we go again.
It's only one page.
The spying thief came first to the bridgekeeper and was greatly consumed with fear. I know you, bridgekeeper. I know the scheme of the prince that allows you to remain after death. I know this house that is your mind. I know all this, and I will foil your plan.
Oh, just be clear, this is not what actually happened, because, like, basically these guys, this guy, the tall man, and Chzo, whatever his name is, they come from the world of like magic or whatever. This is the world of our world is the world of technology, and they have a very skewed perception of things are. Like, what is this? He will know that he knew the name of the king or whatever. That means they killed him. You know, like they have a weird way of writing that you get used to. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And the prince knew that the spying thief spoke the truth, and allowed the bridge keeper to throw down the spying thief. And truly did he know the name of the king.
I think the name of the king is like, or something. I don't know. There we go. Sorry.
And when he saw what had become of the spying thief, the covetous thief was consumed with fear, and with the fear came rage. I will not follow the spying thief in death. I will not follow. I curse this house and all of us, for in our sin we have cursed ourselves. But the cunning thief was steadfast, and he ignored the ravings of the covetous thief to continue his debauchery with the thief wife and thief son. And the prince said, I will not allow the cunning thief to disregard the message of the king. His importance is far too great to allow to slip away, or be corrupted in the foulness of his fellows. So I will make an example of him.
Yeah, well, for him, I don't know.
For him, sorry.
He was a cunning thief and also a cunning linguist. Okay, so can I like swap blades? Put red knife on pedestal. Get blade. I assume that's what you have to do. We could just save the game and see what happens, but get red knife. Yeah, see. it's stupid, so like alright, let's leave. And let's go back to that guy. On north.
As you step into the center of the courtyard, you hear a familiar voice directly behind you. You have done well. Sorry, no, he had a different voice.
Who's the
You
British
have
guy?
done well, says the man in red. You spin around, mesmerized again by his extraordinary presence. Give me the blade. You nod and hand over the sacred artifact. The stranger holds it in his left hand, feeling the weight, before reaching into his robe and producing a second, identical blade. Merely trying to look at both blades at the same time causes your eyelids to flicker involuntarily. It is not, you realize, that there are two blades. Both are the same blade, which he is holding in both hands.
Whoops. Shit. I clicked on it by accident. It disappeared. Hold on. There we go. Sorry.
Then, with no apparent effort on his part, you see only one blade, which he stores in his robe.
Why are there two blades?
What happens now, you ask? Now, he seems momentarily confused by the question. Now your part in the course of destiny is over. You are free to do as you please. Your life no longer has any specific purpose, but it would certainly be possible to exist. But what about the safe house? Your organization? You said you would protect me. There is no organization and no safe house. His image is already fading, taking the blade with him. I apologize for deceiving you, but the redemption you seek for your selfish act of short-sighted butchery is not in my or anyone's power to give. Evil like that, Miss Renault, must be suffered for. And then he is gone. What?
In the morning.
How is he still talking if he...
Oh, it's not
okay.
because it's just
Yeah,
halfway
no,
down.
I see it. Yeah. In the morning, the disappearance of Freehorn's blade sends a shockwave through the Order of Blessed Agonies. It does not take long for even an amateur investigator to gather the evidence needed to convict you, and the thought of what a pain worshipper would do to a person as punishment sent shivers down your spine. Fortunately, by the time they find you, you are already 6 miles away, fatally crumpled up inside the wreck of a stolen car. The Order of Blessed Agonies, robbed for the second time, bitterly continue their construction.
So I don't. The thing I understand is why is there two blades? I don't get that part of it. But all right, let's try the last one, and then we'll get to the graphic adventure, and then hopefully all will become clear. Let me just share this with you. There we go. Should now be able to see that.
Yep. February 3rd, AD, 2386. The double doors of the New Delhi Mental Hospital hiss closed as you step into the lobby. The weight of a mail satchel cuts into your shoulder, just as you did 20 separate times during the shuttle ride here. You wonder how you got into this mess. The man in red assured you there would be further instructions when you arrived, but hadn't elaborated before, disappearing into the shadowy alleyway where he had requested to meet you. You almost didn't take the job. You're not the business of delivering the parcels of homeless weirdos in tattered rags. But that had all changed when the weirdo had produced a wad of cash as thick as your thumb. Had you not been so tired, you would probably have asked where the money had come from. But there was something about the man in red's voice, so smooth and charismatic, impossible to resist. Kind of like what God's voice must be like, not merely instructing or requesting, but simply stating how things were going to be, like he knew everything. Forget it. Just another job. Get the instructions and deliver the parcel. Then, enjoy the money and forget all about weirdos in red.
So it's the same guy in red as the other game, obviously. I mean, obviously, but it is. Dimitri drew his voice poorly, because I'm just kidding. But the parcel that he's delivering, I think, is the knife. Just from playing the game already. So this is this is the future now. The end of the last game, the end of the second game, 7 Days a Skeptic. The main character that you played, it turned out he was like a mental patient who murdered the guy who was supposed to be the doctor on the spaceship you were on, and he was posing as him. And then at the end, he went to a mental hospital. So I think now you're delivering this package to that guy, and I believe it's the blade that we stole in the other one. He took it to the future or whatever. So that's what's going on here. I know it doesn't make any sense if you haven't played the games, but watch all these streams and you'll get it. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
So that guy is the same guy who was doing the voice of
the same guy in red. That's why I'm saying the voice that you did is not really what they describing it as now. It's saying so smooth and charismatic, kind of like what God's voice must be like. I don't know what that even means. Like, take the blade. I mean, I don't know what all that voice is, but anyway, who cares? It's the same
what was
voice.
that? Take the blade. Oh, please, I'll take the blade. All right.
I was just trying to do like I don't know, whatever. Who cares? Go ahead, you do it.
Maybe his voice changes in this. I'll just put a different voice for this one.
No, you might as well use the same voice because the same characters in the actual game too. So just use the same voice.
Everything about the New Delhi Mental Hospital screams surgical. The uncarpeted floor is so sterilized you almost feel guilty walking on it. There are no corners in the architecture. The walls are curved and smooth, painted an insipid pastel blue. The room stretches hugely off in all directions, with the exit doors to the south and an archway labeled Cell Block 1 to the north.
Okay.
You are outside the main elevator. that can take you up to any of the 30 floors that make New Delhi Mental Hospital one of the better equipped loony bins in the United Coalition. Nearby is a small lounge area with a ratty-looking sofa and coffee table. On the coffee table is a page.
Another page.
So the prince bade the bridge keeper to keep the cunning knife.
To touch the cunning thief.
And the cunning thief. And at their conjoined hands the coveted thief was thrown down. And truly did he know the name of the king. And the cunning thief wept aloud. Why have I been made a part of this great evil? To have murdered with my hands, and to be made glad of mindless destruction through my own eyes. I curse this house. The prince was rightly pleased. The cunning thief now sees our message, and will guide the bridge keeper to the first of the 3 constructions. Henceforth, the cunning thief shall be the guide. And the guide, who was the cunning thief, gathered together his thief wife and thief son. And in the house that was the mind of the bridge keeper, they called to their host. But the bridge keeper was fearful, for the guide had clad the thief wife in the vestments of the father, and the thief's son in those of the brother, and the bridge keeper sobbed in his confusion. And the guide put fire to the bridge keeper, and the body of the bridge keeper was destroyed utterly. The mind of the bridge keeper was destroyed by 1/2. And across the great dark ocean, 1/3 of the bridge appeared.
So a couple things. When they're talking about when he says that the prince bade the bridge keeper to touch the cunning thief. In the first game, Trilby touches the idol that his soul is in, and then he gets possessed, and then he kills the other guy. That's what they're talking about. Is the covetous thief was thrown down because he killed him. And then the end of the game, you basically do like an exorcism where you call him up and then destroy him and then burn the house down, like I said before. So the body of the bridge keeper is the house. The house was burned down. And I guess you'll learn this, but if you didn't learn it already, it'll come out in the game. Basically, you have to kill the idea was to destroy the mind, the body, and the soul of the bridge keeper, and that will create the bridge. And the bridge is the bridge between the land of technology and the land of magic, so that this Chzo, or Chzo, whatever the hell his name is, can come across the bridge into our world, in theory, and rule the world or whatever. That's the premise here. There's number 7.
And the king said, I see the bridge, but it's only 1/3. It must be complete before I may attend the land of technology.
Hold on. The king is Chzo, who's a pain elemental, some kind of demon. So I don't think he's gonna have a voice like some British guy. It'd have to be a really sinister, demonic voice.
Okay. And the king said, I see the bridge, but it is only 1/3. It must be complete before I may attend the land of technology.
Dirty hobbitses.
You faintly hear the telephone ringing.
Is there a phone here? Answer phone. Oh, where's the phone? How's the phone? Oh, here, okay.
You are standing at reception, leaning over the desk with your elbows resting on the surface. Much of the wall before you is decorated with a suitably pacifying work of 2D art. Sitting askew on the reception desk is a white plastic telephone. The telephone is ringing.
Pick up phone.
You pick up the phone and hold it to your ear. A familiar voice says, the occupant of cell 105...
It's the red robe guy from the other game.
Okay.
The British voice that you did. Whatever that was.
The occupant of cell 105 is the recipient. Do not let the guards see you. You will receive more money as soon as the parcel is delivered. They hang up before you can say anything, and you replace the handset, baffled.
Alright, let's go to cell 105.
You are in an unfurnished north-south corridor. There is a sign on one of the walls. It has 2 arrows. The one pointing south is marked lobby, and the one pointing north says cell block 1. The security guards give you only a passing glance. They are more concerned about prisoners trying to get out, and your courier's uniform and demeanor reassure them that you are all business. You are standing outside the hugely thick and armored door to a cell marked Cell 101. The corridor continues east and south. There is a dropper built into the cell door. A learned-looking doctor type is here, flanked by a small entourage of youths. Toby, one of the guards, is patrolling here. The doctor seems to be giving a tour of the cell block to his apprentices, and is giving a detailed description of the occupant of Cell 101. It would probably be best not to draw attention to yourself. We just can't seem to convince him that he isn't covered in crawling insects, says the doctor. Oh, it's the doctor speaking.
Yeah.
We just can't seem to convince him that he isn't covered in crawling insects, says the doctor. We have to constantly keep his fingernails cut in case he scratches himself severely. And that's one of the least popular jobs among the orderlies, I can tell you. The youths titter fondly. You are standing outside the hugely thick and armored door to a cell marked Cell 102. More cells lie to the east and west.
I want to listen to what the doctor has to say, so I'm going to wait so we can hear all the doctor comments. I don't know if you need to or not, but I think it's just fun. It's interesting.
Time passes. I'm afraid most of the rest of the cases in Cell Block 1 are rather textbook. Certainly nothing worth wasting your precious time by giving a full description. The doctor pauses to push his spectacles back up his nose. There is one exception, however. I think you'll find this the highlight of the tour.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I messed it up. I should have gone east. Stupid. Hold on. Okay. Oh, he didn't say anything. I guess I have to. Stupid doctor. Whatever. I'm at cell 104 now.
You are standing outside the hugely thick and armored door to a cell marked Cell 104. More cells lie to the east and west. A learned-looking doctor type is here, flanked by a small group entourage of youths. There is a dropper built into the cell door. The doctor and his entourage move east. Good morning, Lionel, says the doctor courteously as he passes by the cell door without stopping. You are standing outside the hugely thick and armored door to a cell marked 105. This is the end of the cell block, and the only way to go is back west. A learned-looking doctor type is here, flanked by a small entourage of youths. There is a dropper built into the cell door. Clive, one of the guards, is patrolling here. This, of course, is our resident celebrity, says the doctor grandly, taking up position next to the peephole. An attractive young female student's peers at the cell's occupant, and recognition lights up her face. The Mephistopheles killer?
Mephistopheles?
Yes, you'll remember it was all over the news. Last year, the EFS Mephistopheles was relaunched with a skeleton crew of 6. The appointed ship's counselor was one Dr. Jonathan Somerset, and he reported for duty punctually and on schedule. The youths draw nearer, like children gathering around Nanny for story time. A slightly perverse smile flashes on the doctor's face. Unfortunately, shortly after the launch, it was discovered that the real Dr. Jonathan Somerset was dead, pushed down a flight of stairs, presumably by the imposter who had taken his place. Off-world security was dispatched to intercept the Mephistopheles. Its last recorded communication was an SOS distress call to the EFS Charisma. By the time off-world security arrived, this man had slaughtered the entire crew. He glanced at the sullen prisoner and shakes his head sadly.
So the truth is, you did kill the guy. Like, I think it was your father, actually. I think you're something else, Somerset.
I think that was the only game I played by him, the one where it was on the spaceship.
Oh, okay. So you did kill the guy. There's a twist at the end, but all the people on the ship were not killed by you. They were killed by basically the ghost of John Defoe from the first game, the guy with the welding mask and the machete. So the guy whose spirit lives in the idol, the bridge keeper.
So, who is he? Asks a likely bespectacled youth. His name is Malcolm Somerset, replies the doctor, the only son of Dr. Jonathan Somerset. He was a student of psychology at Ganymede University, waiting to follow in his father's footsteps, but he failed the final examination and dropped out. The doctor's eyes never leave the patient in cell 105 throughout his speech. There is a note of remorse in his voice. It seems becoming a shipboard counselor was his dream, and when his father was called up, he couldn't hold in his jealousy. The interrogative youth in spectacles poses the doctor another question. So, why did he kill the Mephistopheles crew? That's partly why he remains under psychiatric study, comes the answer. It's a complete mystery. His profile is completely inconsistent with a spree killer. The best theory we have is that he was found out and killed out of desperation. But that doesn't explain the demented creativity, the sheer bloodthirsty relish with which his crewmates were slaughtered. The doctor's expression is suddenly very dark.
Doesn't explain the ketchup or the mustard either. Sorry. So much of the relish.
One man was impaled, another was blinded. The first officer had her head twisted right around. Many of the corpses were dismembered and stitched randomly together like Frankenstein-like monstrosities. He takes a moment to watch the horrified faces of the students and to let them gawk through the peephole some more, trying to imagine how the silent creature before them could have committed such things. Certainly not the actions of a man simply trying to cover up a far less serious crime. I sound like, what's his name from Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window.
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart. There's someone at the window.
a little bit.
But let's leave him for the moment and move on, says the doctor as he and the students move westwards with obvious haste.
Alright, the problem is there's a guard here, so how am I supposed to give this package? Alright, examine the dropper. Put parcel in dropper. Yeah, of course, the guard eyes you suspiciously. So, wait till the guard leaves or something? Wait. Okay, Clive had Western Patrol.
There you go.
Put parcel in dropper.
You place the parcel in the dropper while no one is looking, and slam it shut. Feeling an enormous sense of accomplishment and relief, you exit the cell block and swiftly leave the asylum by the front door. After collecting your fee, You live out the rest of your life in varying degrees of happiness and contentment.
Sounds good.
Occasionally, the strange man in red and the contents of the mysterious parcel will come back to haunt your curiosity. But this is nothing that cannot be swiftly dismissed. You will never know the significance of the role you played in the machinations of destiny.
Alright, that was the third one. So now it's time for the actual game. Let's close this. That was only an hour and 15 minutes. Who's still here? There's at least a few people here. What do you guys think so far? Let's start the actual game though. Hold on. I gotta share it. "6 Days of Sacrifice." There's some sound in this game. Let me know, guys, if the sound is too loud. I can turn it down. There's not much sound, but there's a little bit. Okay, Gamers Grotto, you all ready? I'm not sure how fast the text goes in this game, so you may have to like speed it up a little bit.
Maybe there's some maybe what commentary?
Yeah, we're gonna put the commentary on because, like I said, I did stream this game like a long time ago, and without the commentary. So we're gonna put the commentary on, and that's the author. Oh, sheesh! How fast do you talk? Oh my god! How are we gonna do this? The bastard! I may have to read this guy. Okay.
Well, no, I can probably do it. It depends on how fast the text
Well,
goes.
that's how fast it goes. You just saw it.
Yesterday, I saw the body of the bridge keeper engulfed
Hold on,
in
hold on. I'm
flame.
gonna lower the volume of this guy. Because it's too loud. Let me lower the volume. Okay. And read that quickly before it disappears.
Tomorrow, I saw the soul of the bridge keeper reduced to ash, and I saw the bridge created by 2/3.
So if I click outside the window, then it stops playing. That's the only advantage here.
Today, the mind of the bridge keeper shall meet with its destiny, and I shall see the bridge. Yeah, it's going pretty
Too fast?
Yeah. I hate when games do that. It's
All
like
right,
they
let me try to read the introduction, and hopefully after the introduction we can actually slow it down.
All right.
But let me first of all, let me make it a little lower even. Still too loud. Yeah, I don't know why it's bullshit too. Like, why do games like ever do that? It's just an annoyance. I'm trying to see if there's anything here in the README file. Probably not, but. Oh, alright, we'll just have to struggle through it. Like I said, I'll read the beginning part. I'm going to make it even lower, though, because it's still too damn loud. Alright, that's the volume now. It's still loud, isn't it? Oh, I mean, it raised the volume of itself, that's why. Don't do that. Noxious. It keeps raising its own volume back up, so I have an issue here. I don't know why it's doing that. It's a very, very improperly behaved game to raise your own volume back up, so hopefully I can get it to stay where it's supposed to be. I'm going to keep an eye on the volume over here. Alright, new game. I'll try to read the beginning part. Oh, you're back. What's that? Commentary? Oh, geez. Haven't I finished designing games yet? This guy's British, but I'm going to do a British accent. Okay, usual deal. Make sure you play through the game once before you turn me on, because the commentary is going to be Spoiler City. Oh, you can toggle commentary on and off by pressing F10. Yes. Oh, jeez, it raised the volume again. Yesterday I saw the body of the bridgekeeper engulfed in flame, and I saw the bridge treated by 1/3. I have to lower the volume. Tomorrow I saw the soul of the bridgekeeper reduced to ash. I saw the bridge created by 2/3. I think fade out and fade in are the two AGS functions I abuse the most. Today, the mind of the bridgekeeper shall meet with its destiny, and I shall see the bridge extend between the realms. And the many children of the king shall leap and dance and sing praise in his name, for great is his wisdom and his benevolence. The Book of the Bridge, coming soon to a theater near you. There are 3 books of Chzo. The Book of the Prince deals with the appointment of the Tall Man. The Book of Victims concerns the Tall Man's adventures avenging the wood. And the Book of the Bridge, the last one. These 2 factored heavily in Trilby's notes. The 3rd book, The Bridge, prophetically details the events of earlier games and sets things up for 6 Days of Skeptic. The Book of the Bridge is gradually revealed in its entirety in this game and the Countdown Trilogy, which are the text adventures we just played, and that's how I knew they existed, because I read this. I should have done this the moment you came into this world, demon child. Oh, this is like stuff from the first game. May God forgive me for having a part in your creation. Why did you kill me, brother? I helped you when you were injured. I bandaged you when our father made his mistake. Really didn't see this. No mistake, young one.
You realize that you're not sharing your screen with me anymore, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you haven't been for a while.
Well, thanks for telling me. I appreciate the heads up, you know. It's always good when you speak up and let me know.
I didn't want to interrupt your reading.
It's worth mentioning. Okay. Now do you see why I try to keep you away from this creature? It has no understanding of human ways. You're wrong, Father. If you didn't give it a chance to be normal. See your prattling, Matthew, as I lower the volume again. It's time to put an end to the horror I unleashed. What are you doing, Father? Father, no! Father! Father! I've never been happy with the welder collapsing animation, so in this case I covered up my shame with a transcendent slow-mo fading effect. He's dying. That's horrifying. You know what sucks? There wasn't any dialogue accompanying the destruction of the soul in the second game, The Idol. It would have to have been nice to have the dialogue of the 2 scenes overlapping. Even nicer if I wasn't sneezing right now. But we'll see if we can do something about that. So this is the ending of the first 2 games. Hoping I can get the dialogue slowed down so you can voice it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, let's get there. 196 years later, 196 years earlier. Okay, let me make this all clear to you. The destructions of Defoe's body and soul were both highly magical events, since Defoe is a bridge. Why am I hanging upside down, by the way? A bridge being an entity of both technology and magic who bridges the gap between the ethereal and scientific realms. A destruction event causes ripples in the membrane that separates the realms, echoing off into the past and future. At the point exactly midway between the 2 events is an intersection point where the membrane is at its weakest, the moment where the 3rd destruction event can create a portal. Which I guess we are right now. And this is the time frame where she stole the knife from that guy. Had all 3 aspects been destroyed at the same time, the portal would have opened immediately, of course, but since they didn't, things became a bit convoluted. And we know this guy's voice. He's like freaking, he's the escapist guy. I should have a better job of reading his voice in that thing. Alright. Maybe now we can get to the point where... Richard, I was going to use another visual interface. All the previous games had unique ones. That's like the way he talks normally, really. That stupid, fully... What's it called? I was going for right-click to examine it, double-click to open menu. My testers didn't like that one so much. So I figured bollocks. Actually, I'm not sure how much they didn't like it, but I certainly didn't like it, so I just used the 7 Days of Skeptic system again. 7 Days of Stranger, sorry. If you don't like it, then bugger off. All right. Now it's an adventure game, but like, you know, you're gonna have to read fast, I think, because I don't know how fast the dialogue is gonna advance. I don't think there's any way to slow it down. There's no like speed like there's in Sierra games, unfortunately. So how you feel up? Do you feel up to reading quickly?
Yeah, I can. I'm just going to use the washroom first. So if you want to do some reading first, and then I'll jump in after.
Okay.
What we could do is you said that when you went outside of the screen, it paused the.
I can try, but it's hard to get it all the time sometimes. I'll try though.
Okay. Anyway, but I'll be right back.
Okay, tell me when you're back. For those who aren't aware, the washroom is what they call the bathroom in Canada. In the US, we call it a bathroom. Sometimes we call it a restroom if we're trying to be really polite. In other cases, we call it the crapper. But washroom is usually not used in the US. Anyway, whoever's still here, hello. And again, you can say hi if you like. It's been like very quiet in the chat today. I know people are there. I purposely did not put on the monetization. Alright, so this dude just walked in the door here. This is the interface here. Oh, hey, always asleep. How's it going, man? What's up, jabronis? So I think these texts over here will stay on until you click, which is nice. But the dialogue, unfortunately, advances by itself. So I can't leave until I spoke to a Mr. Garriott. We know Mr. Garriott is not Richard Garriott, the guy who invented Ultima, but it's rather the guy, the head of the Order of Blessed Agonies. So it turns out this ophthalmology thing is just an affront for the Order of Blessed Agonies. Let me know if the sound gets too loud, because it keeps on raising itself, and it's hard for me to tell. I don't know if the footsteps are showing that. I'll add to my journal. The journal was included because people requested one after Trilby's notes, because all the reading matter in that game you couldn't take with you. So, of course, instead of putting a journal in Trilby's notes, I put one in the next game where it makes much thematic sense. Go me. Life becoming a struggle, needing a guiding hand, want to be part of the world's fastest growing family? Ophthalmology is a religion catered for you, taking the best parts of all previous religions to make a great new way of thinking. Join ophthalmology today. By the way, that makes no sense. Like, religion is, like, supposed to be something where, like, God came and said whatever, so, like, you can't, like, make your own religion, like, logically, unless you're, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. Are you Mr. Garriott? Garriott caused a wee bit of confusion because I leaked his sprite early in development. And then after referring to a bald red robe guy in the Countdown trilogy, everyone thought the sprite was him. I thought about giving him a hairdo, it proved unnecessary. Everyone seemed to be able to differentiate all right. Except this one guy who thought Garriott was canning the pillock. Get out of my way, you fool! Mr. Garriott, I'm from the county council? What? My name's DeCabe. I phoned you a week ago? About running an inspection of your facilities? Oh, yes, I remember. The council's been informed you may be extending your premises without planning permission. It's like from this city. I just need to make a look around to make sure you aren't. Is it completely necessary? Just a precaution, entirely routine. Could you come back another time? Well, actually, no. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Ophthalmology is a thinly disguised pastiche of Scientology. Well done to everyone who picked up on that. I have to get this done before the end of the week, and this is my only free time slot. I see. Is there a problem? Oh, no, not at all. Why don't I take you up in the elevator and we can tour the building? I'd be obliged. Where's the... So, asked many people, what was so important about Theo DeCabe, the order manipulated events to place him inside the facility? The answer, of course, is bugger all. As this scene shows, DeCabe's imprisonment was a panicky, spur-of-the-moment decision on Garriott's part. He's not dead. That's your character. His eventual fate comes more out of being in the wrong place at the wrong time than a conscious decision by one of the many absurdly powerful super beings involved. I wanted to be as average and unremarkable a person as possible to help the player project. Thanks a lot. I'm not so average and remarkable. I insulted. It showed us how much a brush with the horrors of Chzo Mythos can change a normal man. Like you push him down an elevator shaft, and he's like, "Bye." Day 1. How you doing, always asleep? July 24th, AD 2189. I told you, I have no idea who he is. Why should you care? I'm a doctor, for God's sake. There's another graphic I leaked along with that sprite early on in development to give a tutorial on how I make backgrounds. Looking at everyone thought this would be another space game. Tee-hee. Seems terribly convenient. You don't think if he was our agent we'd find a way to get him down without smashing him to pieces? A broken neck is not something I call convenient. Don't think me a fool. He arrives now of all times and you insist it's a coincidence? What else could it be? I was worried that people would be turned off by not controlling Trilby again, even though this is supposed to be the John Defoe series, not the Trilby series. I was afraid people would hate it like they hated Metal Gear Solid 2, when you weren't controlling Solid Snake for most of it. I did notice, however, that Metal Gear Solid 2 got good again when Solid Snake was reintroduced to the plot, so I made sure to put Trilby in as early as possible. He's awake. Can you hear me? Do you know your name? Can you tell me your name? DeCabe. Theodore DeCabe. My name's Samantha Hardy. Samantha Hardy is probably descendant of Philip Hardy from 5 Days of Strangers, instead of descended so much. What's happening? How much do you remember? Hey. Stop talking to him. I don't want either of you saying another word until my employer gets here. This man is seriously injured. He has to be returned to the surface and taken to a properly equipped hospital. I will not tell you again. No one leaves, no one breathes a word until my employer tells me what is to be done. God damn you. Not a word. As well as getting out of the way quickly that, yes, Trilby was in the game, I also wanted to swiftly make him seem like a dick. So just as people thought they knew who they were dealing with, they'd be like, what? Isn't he an awesome dude? Why is he being such a dick? My expectations are confounded, they would add, and now anything can happen, which makes it all the scarier. Alright, so now the game proper begins. I guess I could save, but there's no point. I'm right at the beginning. I don't think you can actually die permanently in this game either. So you can't even talk. So Trilby, this is Trilby. I'm wearing his hat, except it's gray and mine is like beige. But in this game, he's a bad guy apparently, and they explain why. It all becomes explained, but you can't really do very much right now. It's like an official memo. The bottom half's been burnt off. Oops. I can't move from this spot. I'm him. I realize I'm this guy. I'm not the girl. Let's talk to her. Psst. Point to the desk. Get away from there. Okay, that's not happening. Point to the console. Shakes your head and mouths the word password. Okay. Mouth the word password. She has no idea. Point to the privacy screen. She has no idea how to activate it. Point to the door in the north wall. She shrugs. Mouth the word employer. She points to me, the mime's cutting her throat meaningfully. Point to the guard. She after shrugs and shakes her head, indicating she doesn't think she can reason with or defeat the man. There's the desk you're told to go away. Nothing else to do here. You can't even look at the freaking piece of paper. Look at the bed. Jolt of pain went out my spine. So he's like, he can't even move. He's like basically completely unconscious. How does he, what is he supposed to do? Why can't I get her to look at the paper? I've played this before, but I don't necessarily remember. Please. Oh, I need. Urgh. Oh, please. Quiet. You can explain yourself to my employer when he arrives. So I think you say to me the same thing. Ooh. Quiet. You can explain yourself to the employer, right? How to violate her personal space somewhat. Who should I call? Police. Nothing but static. I can't get outside signal for underground. What else can I do? It's really skeptical. Okay, come on. I'm supposed to do something here. What could the password be? It must be on the piece of paper. Why can't she look at the piece of paper? I gotta do something to distract the guard somehow. Not sure what that is. Get this door open. I can't move. The person on the other side can't get it open. I most certainly won't be able to either. See if someone's banging on the door from the other side. It won't reply. It's like the very first thing in the game, and I can't remember what to do. Literally can't move at all. The only thing I have is my cell phone and my journal. I would think you're supposed to give her, like, use the cell phone to carry a message or something, but it's not that. If I got to the actual solution, I'd remember it. Cabinet about this. It's a large cover showing mail supplies and records. Can you tell her to do it with the cabinet? No. Yeah, I'm already stuck. I tried all these things. Point to the guard, point to the door, point to the console, point to the desk, point to the privacy screen. There's no one to activate it. You can't do anything else while she's there. I want you to look at the paper, you dumb lady. I could cheat and look over the walkthrough. I don't want to. I do welcome help, though, from the viewers. If you want to give me some ideas of what to do here, because I can't remember. I can't move. I can't move. I think I could do. I remember you have to get the privacy screen up and then the door opens and a guy comes out and kills Trilby. That's what I remember. But and obviously used the console to do that. But I don't remember what the password is. I'm supposed to find the password. Must have been talking to him. He always says stop. What's the matter now? Okay, there we go. His issue may still be degrading. The facilities here are very understocked. Move aside. I'm going to check him. And now maybe she can go like... Can't talk to her right now. I don't see any problems. I can like pickpocket him or something while he's standing there. Let's try it again. What's the matter now? Alright. Take this slip of paper in his pocket, leads over, doesn't seem to notice. I didn't even know that he had a slip of paper on him, but that's helpful. A little bit tricky because the first couple of times you try to talk to me, just says shut up. Alright, so now here's a slip of paper. I'll look at the damn paper. Alright. Slip of paper with a meaningless sequence of numbers on it. Can I give her the paper? I probably noticed something that she glanced at it. I was just saying pockets it. It's possible to give the paper to Sam before she comes back and stands next to you again. Pretend she has really long arms. Okay. Alright, now I can tell her. Oops. So now I'll point to the console. She points to the privacy screen at the door of the north wall. So point to the privacy screen. That won't help you. I can't see you, but there's only one way out of there. Now point to the door of the north wall. You! I remember you! So why is a tall man killing the Trilbys? Most people seem to think it was to allow John Defoe's influence to escape from the confines of the hub. Well, that certainly was part of it. He has other reasons. Okay. Since Trilby would have probably been the new prince if he's done his job properly in 5 days as a stranger, the tall man never was to kill him, so it can't happen. That doesn't make any sense. It's in the past. Don't look. What's going on? Don't look! Looks like we're loose again. Can you walk? Just about. It hurts a lot. How much do you remember? Look, I'm just a council inspector. I was heading to run an inspection of the building. Some lunatic upstairs pushed me down the elevator shaft, and I wake up here. Can you please explain to me what the hell's going on? You fell to the very bottom of the shaft. You're now in an underground laboratory complex. What are the ophthalmologists needed for? Ophthalmology is a front, a money-making, crowd-pleasing facade to disguise a true organization. Which is a cult. They call themselves the Order of Blessed Agonies. One thing I'm not happy about this game is the high degree of plot dump that occurs, especially in the first half. Yeah, I agree. I guess the pitfall we run into when our protagonist is a completely blank character, oblivious of all previous events. Bunch of masochistic freaks who worship some math death god. Okay, so why do they have a laboratory complex? Do you mind if I ask?
I'm back.
Geez, you scared me. Well, you said to inspect the building. The police told me they received a tip. That the the cultists are building something. Since they didn't have planning permission, I had to see if there was any truth to it. Seems there was. This complex isn't documented in any of our records of the site. I think you better talk to Janine. I feel like you're the person she's been waiting for. Who? The other prisoner. She and I were being held captive down here by one of the cultists. You mean the man who was guarding us? Where'd he go anyway? The man in the hat was just a mercenary, I think, hired to guard the place. Our captor is still around somewhere. Jean and I only escaped from our cell this morning. We were looking for a way out when you arrived. I dragged you in here and the guard found me. We've got to call the police. No can do till we get to the surface. Something's blocking our communications. But with the three of us against one man, we should be able to negotiate our way out. Janine's supposed to be finding us some weapons. Find her. I apologize for placing a burden on you in your current state, but I have urgent matters to see to. Okay. Peel picked up on this, and I have to agree. Dr. Hardy is a huge bitch for making an extremely injured man do all this legwork. Yeah, I agree too. What would you prefer? A game where you send your arse scoffing grapes while other people got embroiled in darkness? It was important for the plot that Decay be heavily injured. It was also important that for gameplay to get up and solve all the puzzles. The name of these goals, Dr. Hardy became a huge bitch. These are the things we must learn to accept and run with. Dr. Hardy, what happened to the guard? What was behind the door? Why didn't you let me see? Find Janine. Once the cultists are hostage, I'll have time to answer all your questions. She went through the door. I'm going to lower the volume again. See if it'll stay there for a little bit. Alright, let's save the game. So, what you missed is, first of all, we do bad voice acting. Basically, in the very beginning of the game, you're this dude who's in the beginning walking around aimlessly. You're a building inspector. You heard that they were doing like an unplanned renovation to this building, and so you came to investigate. And then you got pushed down an elevator shaft, and you woke up in this bed, basically barely able to move. And you were being guarded by Trilby, the guy with the hat, but it was not really Trilby. It was an evil version of him. And then the tall man came and killed Trilby after we solved the puzzle. And now, basically, that's where we are. Sort of. You get that?
Yeah, I feel like I've played this one before.
Maybe you have.
It looks familiar.
Well, the other thing
if I did, I played it when it first came out.
Yeah, you might have.
Like years ago.
So the other thing to note is, when you do something like this, like I look at the bed, it puts up this type of dialogue, and that stays on it until you click. But when there's speech, it advances by itself. So you just have to do your best to read fast.
Well, I'm almost thinking that if you want, I could read the voice of the demon or the killer or whatever, and if you wanted to do the other voices, since you've already started them anyway.
Well,
or I could do a voice of some other character that comes up.
Okay, that's fine.
Back and forth.
I know you don't play female voices anyway, but I'm just doing very basic voices for these guys.
No, all that's right. Good. And you continue with the voices you're doing, and when you need a new character voice, I'll hop in.
Okay. This guy can barely even walk. I'll add it to my journal. Do you want to read this?
From Acolyte Garia to Acolyte Derivan, our preparations are complete. Feel free to evacuate yourself and your staff when you have finished burning your records. Make sure Canning and the prisoners remain. Our master will also remain and make his own arrangements. I will evacuate last when I have given the building and complex a final inspection.
He wasn't dead. He wasn't like he died in the middle of writing it. They said his bottom was burned.
Oh.
But the guy who wrote this is the guy that pushed you down the elevator shaft, and then they showed him walking out the door afterwards. He obviously thought he killed you, but he didn't quite kill you.
Gotcha.
Is there anything in here? Full of medical supplies. Oh, you read this stuff.
Well, it's full of medical. Yeah, it's for something that it makes no sense to read every time there's nothing important in an area.
Fair. I don't think there's anything here either. A bunch of boxes.
They walk awfully loudly for people who are trying to avoid being killed.
They keep raising the volume of everything. Usually I can cut a corner to making walking sprites, just flick the walking left sprites to make walking right. I keep trying to lower the volume, but the game keeps raising it up. It's so obnoxious. Oh fuck, or whatever, it doesn't matter. We was just talking about something with the sprites. Was anything important? Alright, so I think let me save again, because I remember you get caught and stuff, and I don't want to. Okay, this is like the security room, it looks like. Just based on the thing. Some of these rooms you can't go into at the beginning. This room appears in the Countdown trilogy in the second episode when the main character pinches Freehorn's blade. Beyond that door is a little museum and a stairwell leading up to the residential quarter of the Order compound, but DeCabe will never know that. Oh, this is the room that said with the circuit breaker, the fuse box that wasn't working, and whatever else. Alright, so here's like a touchscreen with a security camera. I think you can't activate it yet. Yeah, the screen is locked out. I can't access any functions. And this door I assume is locked. There's that barrel I talked about. The barrel we saw in the text adventure with oil in it or whatever. Yeah, it smells like petrol. This is locked, I'm pretty sure. Yep, won't open. Wait. In fact, I think all of my testers seem to think that DeCabe keeps entering this room here on the wrong side. They are wrong and stupid. What's happening is the perspective changes. The previous doors were on the outside of the circle. The door here is on the inside, because it leads to the hub, and I would just forget it. Alright, so there's a door here that I can't open. Never in a million years open it manually with both hands. You'd have to do the voice of that last girl.
I'm gonna have to do the voice of a girl? No, I feel like you'd be better at it.
I already do one. There's another one you gotta do. Her. I found myself resenting Janine. I was gonna use some old character sprites for an old project for her, but they didn't look right. So I had to do it from scratch, and for this reason I resent her. I already planned to kill her, though. Her outfit is based off of Conrad from Flashback. That's funny. Actually, it isn't. It looks like it should be. Read.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I thought you were. Who are you?
My name's DeCabe. Are you Janine? Can you do a better voice of that?
No, she's Janine from Ghostbusters.
Oh.
You're not one of the cultists.
No, one of them apparently dropped me down an elevator shaft. Dr. Hardy told me to find you.
So you met Sam already? We were being held captive, her and me, for the last week or so. We were only able to get out of the cell this morning.
She mentioned that. She said you would have found some weapons?
Oh, sure. Here.
You came from outside. Oh, it's you.
You came from outside? Are they sending someone to help us?
I wouldn't know.
But they must have gotten my message.
We have to take these guns to Dr. Hardy. Maybe then we can get out of here.
I'll wait here.
Why?
Please, just don't make me go out there. I couldn't face seeing him again.
Who, the cultist?
No. Anyway, we better get going.
Okay. No reason to not mention, I guess, Janine is being slowly taken over by John Defoe. That's why she's so afraid of Trilby, because he is. Why, Janine? Maybe it's just because she's weak of mind. Or maybe it's because DeCabe falls in love with her, and DeCabe is fated to be the new prince. Future affecting the past and all that. Thanks for telling me. Sorry, have I spoiled the ending? That's why I told you to play through the commentary first, you doink. Jeez. I felt the dialogue in this scene to make the player think she was scared of the tall man, so I included dialogue to reflect this. Try talking to her on day 2 after seeing him. You didn't read your line. You just flubbed the line. Hello?
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, what a bad voice.
It's really annoying
Dr.
because
Hardy, have you got the weapons off Janine yet? You must hurry. We may not have long to act against our captor. Yeah, I got them. It's really annoying because it advances automatically. I agree, it's completely annoying. Guns. Use the guns. Ah, excellent. Now we certainly have the upper hand. The cultist is just through this door. All we have to do is secure him in the holding cell, then we can negotiate our release. It could be the cultist also. Will Janine be joining us? No. She said she was too afraid. Afraid? Odd. Well, anyway, we'll both take a gun. Even a man with 2 limbs out of commission can fire a gun.
bang, bang, bang.
Turn around slowly, Canning. No sudden movements. Canning is just Garrett Sprite, but short a little bit with a different head. You're going to be Canning. I'm going to lower the volume if I can. You may find that a lot of characters I drew have long garments and make minimal arm movements when walking. This because animating is boring.
Jesus. So laziness. Hardy, so this is your employment.
Hold on.
Holy shit.
You gotta do better than that. He said, this is how your employment ends, with betrayal. And then the guy said, employment? And she said, shut up. And then I clicked out of the window to freeze it.
I have to be an auctioneer to voice in this game.
Hardy was hired by the owner. Well, that's how he talks. You see the escapist reviews, right?
Unfortunately, I can barely understand what he's saying half the time.
Hardy was hired by the order to clone Trilby because like her ancestors, she has a very dodgy code of morals. Ready?
But I'm saying, like, he doesn't need to advance his text as fast as he speaks in real life. That's
Mr. Shatter, do you want to get paid or not for this job? You ready?
Yeah. Am I not? Hold on.
I paused it for you. Here we go. Oh, man. She, Canning, and Janine are all inconvenient people the cultists want destroyed. Together they also form a conscious body-mind-soul threesome that Chzo would probably appreciate. Just advance the dialogue really fast. Then, of course, the Cabe appears and mucks the whole thing up. If there was any betrayal here, it was when you lunatics locked me up.
We had no choice, Hardy. You refused to listen to reason.
I said shut up! I'm taking you to the cell! You better read him faster than that. I hate the way Sam looks when she walks, with unmoving upper body. It's like she's riding a unicycle or something. Oh man, it reads the vibe again. Stop right there. If you point your gun at me, I will fire. Of course, with Trilby being popular, I had to quickly reintroduce him after killing him so people would know it wasn't permanent. Sam didn't seem to take the eventuality of that Trilby showing up into account, which is odd. She of all people should know there are several Trilbys. This is a little confusing, isn't it? She's probably just covering her ass or something. Damn you!
You never understood, did you, Hardy? There's no point in resisting us. We have God on our side.
What the hell is going on?
Take them to the holding cell. I will.
Red Roby McSomerset, as my form is come to identify, was a fellow of curious motivation. This is the guy with the British voice that you used before. With the, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was created by himself as part of a hugely paradoxical time loop.
His name's literally Red Roby.
Doesn't appear to have any human qualities or emotions at all. Everything he does is calculated and show the perpetuation of the time loop. It's only because his interests temporarily coincide with the caves and incidentally shows that he seems to be helpful. He's really a pillock. Who?
I'm the caretaker. I'm the guide. They are only unconscious but will awaken soon. Go to the sleeping quarters and seal yourselves in.
It is not wise to roam this place at night.
But who are you?
A friend. Now go.
Some people didn't make the connection between Malcolm Somerset in the future and the Red Room Man in the present. Trying to read as fast as I can. So who was the guy in red, they asked. I know Somerset ended up looking like him, but that doesn't tell me anything. It's because they're dumb and they didn't realize it's the same guy. Idiots.
Sam.
I'm sorry, Janine, they overpowered us. Janine's last name is Orzechowski. Her and Kenny are only major characters with no connection to a character in a previous game. Orzechowski was the name of someone I went to school with. I think it's Polish.
Oh, God. I can't take much more of this. When are they going to send help?
It seems they did.
Him?
Why'd you tell Janine the same things you told me, Mr. DeCabe? I'm a council planning inspector. Someone tipped us off at the the cult were building something. They sent me to see if that was true. So you see, Janine, your call was answered. You sent the tip?
A council planning inspector. It's almost laughable. But now there's no way we're getting out of here.
Yes, there is. We're going to overpower Canning and make him escort us out. Excuse me.
You tried that and it didn't work.
We just have to keep trying. Will you please listen? I beg your pardon? I fell down an elevator shaft this morning. I'm tired. I'm in pain. I don't know where I am. All you've done is boss me around and evade my questions. I want to know who the hell you people are and what the hell is going on. Good for you, man. The key word with DeCabe is everyman. My intention was to make him as average as possible so to provoke some emotional reaction when I ruin his shit. This, I found, was the moment when the average person would get pissed off. How's my impression of this dude? I apologize, Mr. DeCabe. There was no need to shout. Perhaps there's time to fill you in now.
Sorry. Where shall we start?
Following conversations are the case of big fat info dump. In my defense, it's partially optional. Once you're done talking about the coach, you're free to end it whenever you want. So I lowered the volume again. Okay, so I can ask all the questions here. Well, I'm tired from reading.
Yeah.
It's like it's a little bit like intense to have to read so fast.
That's why I don't like it.
It's
I
bad
can't stand games like that.
There's nothing I can do about it, though, unfortunately. I wish I could, like, hack it. And, I'm going to go here. What is this place? Oh, he says it again. You're in a small laboratory complex underneath the ophthalmology building, which, as I have already said, is a front for the Order of Blessed Agonies. The complex is laid out around a large circular chamber they call the Hub. Oh, it's your turn.
They definitely got something important in there.
But neither of us have been inside. What is the Order of Blessed Agonies? They're an insane masochist cult who think pain is the answer to everything. And from what I've seen, they're very creative in the ways they inflict it upon each other. They worship some kind of mad demon god called Chzo or something.
I've never even heard of them. I've heard of ophthalmology. What with all the celebrities that are members?
Like Tom Cruise. Ophthalmology is just the moneymaker. It funds the true organization, the Order. They hide behind the acceptable front to keep themselves secret. Saying you want to hurt people to purify them causes a lot of concern for the authorities. So where are all the cultists now?
We don't know. They used to be all over the place.
They started drifting away soon after they finished construction of the facility. Canning and the Hat Man are the only ones left as far as we know. It's like they intend to abandon the place with us inside. If they haven't already. Who are you? I'm Dr. Samantha Hardy. I'm a scientist. I tell you what kind, but I fear it would go over your head. Just a dumb building inspector.
My name's Janine Orzowski. I'm a freelance journalist for a couple of magazines, mainly celebrity gossip stuff.
How did you get here?
I was looking around the ophthalmology headquarters. I wanted to do a feature on them for the magazine, since so many celebrities have joined them. I was just having a little snoop about when I discovered this place. Then, of course, they threw me in the holding cell. Sam was already there.
I've been doing a little contract work for the Order here in the labs. Turns out they really don't want anyone to know about the stuff they've been doing here. What kind of stuff? I prefer not to say.
She won't tell me either.
So you don't want to betray client confidentiality? They threw you in a cell. That's not it. Just that it was work I'm not proud of, which will probably reflect poorly on me once this is all over. I'd rather take steps to ensure it doesn't get out now rather than regret it later. Please don't press the matter.
We escaped from the cell a few hours ago. Then you dropped in. And that's as far as we know.
Why are we being held here? Most likely to protect a secret. But if that was all, why haven't they just killed us?
Maybe they need us for something.
I don't like the sound of that. I think only the cultists can answer your question fully. Who is Canning? Is he the leader of the cult? God, no. Before the others evacuated, he answered to a guy named Garriott. And even he seemed to be subordinate to someone they call the Prince. I don't think I've ever seen him.
Canning is just some low-level acolyte ordered to make sure we don't escape.
Personally, I think he's just as much a prisoner down here as we are. I think they wanted to get rid of him for some reason. But he's too dense to notice. He's still following orders like a faith-blinded sheep. Who was the man in the hat? I think he's just a mercenary hired to act as a security guard.
You mean the guy dressed as Trilby?
Who?
You know, Trilby. The dashing gentleman thief from those old horror movies, serials. The Defoe Manor murders. Hotel horror.
I don't watch many movies, I'm afraid. Why would a security guard be dressed up as a cult character? I can't explain it. It's just ridiculous.
I can. He's a cosplayer. I've read some newspapers from around the late 20th century.
How is that relevant that Trilby may have existed?
Never mind.
Who was the man in red? I'd never seen him before, not until just then.
Who's this?
A completely bald man in a torn red robe. He helped us get away from Canning and the guard.
Patrick Stewart. I've never seen anyone like that. Did he come in with you?
No. There was just me falling down the elevator shaft. Okay, that's all. Good. So now what? Now we think of a way to... Oh.
What?
This door's been sealed with a time lock. We won't be able to open it until tomorrow morning. Who could have done that?
Canning?
I doubt it. The man in red told us not to roam the hallway at night. Presumably he's taken steps to ensure this. For crying out loud. I have to get home. I have to be back at work tomorrow. We're all inconvenienced, Mr. Jacob. But whining like a child is not going to help. I know, it's just... I know. We should take the opportunity to rest. We can discuss our escape in the morning. One of the recurring problems of the series has been depicting believable transitions between days. In several cases, days seem to pass very quickly, and people tend to go to bed early for silly reasons. I made an effort to make the transition a bit more credible over 6 days, even this device for keeping the prisoners in the room for the night seems contrived. Day 2. Probably starts with a nightmare, like usually in these games. You think you're awake, and really you're not. He's all by his lonesome. Let's save the game. I believe he's not even awake, really. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Time lock will still be active. Let's go in here. They're going to raise the volume up again, I'm sure, too, when the scene starts. Originally one of the sad music tracks played at this point until the boy turns around. Atmospherically, though, that didn't work at all. Hello? Who are you? I'm not going to hurt you. Is your mother around? Or your father? They raise the volume again. My God, your eyes! What happened to your eyes? She goes without saying the child is John Defoe, looking how he did in the Trilby's Notes flashback. But I had to say it anyway, because you probably didn't know that, you dumb bollocks idiots. The sheer randomness of things going in this dream reflect how uncontrolled Defoe's mind has become, now it is separated from his soul. He ripped his head off and now he's the welding mascot. Okay. In retrospect, I'm not sure I like that sudden tone that heralds waking up. It seems cheap. Oh, good, you're up. We can discuss the plan. Plan? The door has now been unlocked. Our next move will be to take Canning hostage. Again? If at first you don't succeed. His door is being guarded by the Trilby Guard. It'll be your task to distract him. Why me? Sam continues to be a huge bitch. I think I was trying to make her out as a no-nonsense sort with an eye permanently on the bigger picture. I was trying to make her out as the one who's in control, the leader, understands what's going on more than anyone else, so I could kill her off meaningfully. In 5 days, a stranger, Philip Hardy, dies because he can't act rationally. In 6 days, a skeptic, a descendant, dies because he tries to act rationally in a very irrational world. The threat of physical violence must be made to get Canning under control. You obviously cannot make this threat, so it has to be me. All you have to do is lure the guard away from the main corridor, giving me the chance to slip in. How will you know when the coast is clear? Do you have a cell phone? Of course. Take my number. We can't reach the outside world. We should be able to make calls in the complex. Cell phones do not work that way, by the way. It's not walkie-talkies. Call when you've achieved your objective if there are points you wish to discuss. Okay. I'll give you Janine's number, too. I wonder if he's going to comment on that. I'm sure you still have many questions for us both. Look on phone to calls realistic context. The phone system is included because of all the puzzles that involve talking to certain people under certain events. It's a measure against having to backtrack all the time. I thought about giving Canning and Trilby phones too, but I couldn't really reconcile that contextually. But still, there shouldn't be any phones. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't reach the cell tower, then you can't talk on your phone. It's not like point-to-point communication. So, anyway. I think I'm going to stop here for today. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes, so I think it's a good place to stop. We're definitely not going to finish this all today, but it's possible we can finish the whole game in the next stream. Aside from the fact that there's technical issues, you've played this game, you said. What do you think of this so far?
Well, I haven't played it in a very long time, so I don't remember much of it. I've always liked his games. I mean, there was a website that I used to go to all the time. I don't even remember if it still exists. It was like called like Crow Adventure Game or something like that. You could download all these indie adventure games from all these different developers.
Don't know.
That's where I found this.
Cool.
These games. Yeah, no, I remember the one I remember vividly the most was the welding master one.
Right, that was the first one. I think that was the most like understandable, self-contained one. Then it started getting more and more like confusing. Is sort of the problem.
Yeah,
It's like
kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it makes sense sort of at the end, but it's like you really have to pay attention to follow the different threads. So anyway, that's it for now. I think. Thanks to Always Asleep, to Pirate Gamer Boy, to the Retro Engine, to James McCrossan, whoever else was here. And thanks to the Gamer's Grotto for doing the voicing for the text adventures and for a good portion of this game as well. Make sure you check out his channel at the Gamer's Grotto. You can I put already the link in the description. And if you're watching this after the fact, make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, give me a like. Check out my Discord and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And we're trying to grow this channel here by playing a lot of adventure games, a lot of very old stuff in general. So mixture of those two. Any final words before we wrap up this stream, sir, my friend from the Gamer's Grotto?
Not really. I mean, if you guys missed Stu and my stream yesterday where we streamed the final part of the Atari 50th anniversary DLC number 2, which covers the first console war between Atari and Intellivision, you can check that out on my channel. We both checked it out yesterday and did a live stream of it. It's roughly about 3 hours in length. And we had a lot of fun. So come over to my channel, check it out, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. See you soon at the Gamer's Grotto and here on Stu's Game Reviews. Have a great rest of the day, everybody, and a good evening, good night, and peace out. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Take care. Take care.